myself in terms of who I am.
Yes, please.
So I'm Reshma Sheikh, and I'm Managing Director of MSDUK. In my past life, I started my career as a corporate restructuring lawyer. I worked for lots of global law firms. I then went into the world of entrepreneurship, working with the Octavian group of companies and leading the UK operations and being managing director as well as chairman of the board. I then had an opportunity to do a role with purpose and impact, and that's why I joined MSDUK. I've known about MSDUK for the last 16 years. I knew about them as a corporate lawyer. I was a member of this organisation when I worked in the entrepreneurial world. And I took over on the 1st of April as CEO of this organisation.
All right, that's very interesting, very nice. Thank you very much for joining me on this call. So yeah, I'm going to start by asking a couple of questions. So first, how did your role, how did your experience as the director of business at Octavian Group prepare you as a managing director for the MSD UK? Prepare you to be like a managing director, to be CEO that you are now. What was the experience that you had to get to this point?
So training as a lawyer gave me great experience. It gave me the listening skills, the communication skills, the attention to detail I needed. I was good at making friends, so I just fell into business development. I was good at client relationship management, and that's why I did well in business development, and fell into managing director roles in terms of leading businesses. It all had to do with the fact that I got on with my teams. I understood their requirements. I understood my clients' requirements. So everything has been as a result of opportunities. I changed my career because I wanted to work in an environment I had flexibility. With young children, law is crazy. But in the entrepreneurship world, you can work around your children. Still, but I could work around them. And now my children are at an age that I want to be at home more. I don't want to be traveling around the world, which I still do. I still travel, but not as much. I'm much more present, and I'm giving back to the community I work with. So whilst there were a number of challenges, definitely being as a woman of colour, people have stereotypes of what you're like. I was very lucky to have some brilliant people, mentors, business partners around me that supported me through that whole process.
That's awesome. You wanting to give back to your community, you want to create more impact. That's I'm looking for a word that I can't find right now. It's inspiring. I think that's something I could use to describe it. It's inspiring. All right. So what are the skills like? Yeah, you mentioned that you are a great communicator. You learn how to manage people. You love in relationships with people and all. But like what are like the skills that you have to gain? What are those the knowledge that you have to gain for you to be in this particular role that you are right now?
For me, it was obviously to become a lawyer, you need academic qualifications. You need that academic skill. In terms of the managing director, in terms of the more senior business roles, I learnt on the job. I worked myself up from a startup where you are running around grafting and doing everything, to then learning those people skills to manage people. The empathy that you need, the emotional intelligence. You look back at good managers that you've had yourself and you learn from them. You know what worked well with you, and you adapt and you read a lot. I always say read a lot of books, and also learn from other mentors. Being a working in the entrepreneurial world, being a managing director, someone in senior leadership is really lonely. You can't tell your teams what you're going through difficult times. So you need a group of individuals in the same area as you that you can bounce off ideas. You need friends, you need other individuals who are leading. And that's why MSDUK is a community of entrepreneurs who not only work with global corporates as a result of what we do, but they also support each other and help each other. And that's why I love working here. That's what attracted me to want to be part of this network.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess I'll go find out something about myself to put it into place just the way you said. Yeah, so that's I hope you can hear me very well because of accent and everything.
Ah,
You can hear me very well, right?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes, I can hear
and you
you.
can understand what I'm saying because my accent is it's Nigerian and yeah.
No, it's not too bad. It's quite clear.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so now you mentioned some things about why you are really working where you are working. You've been able to relate with people. You've been able to work with smaller business owners, drive an impact. So the, my question is, what motivates you to support business owners like us? Now you've mentioned something like that. You've talked about it a little bit, yeah. But like, can you talk more about it? Like, what is for example, you decide to jump on a call with me. I am nobody. I mean, the space. I'm naturally kind of the new guy and everything. But what is your motivation? You said personally, you're also a person of color. You have to learn from a lot of people, to put yourself out there and everything. But can you just extend a little bit on that too?
You've got to be passionate about what you do. If you're not loving and enjoying what you do, it becomes a chore. You've got and that's what I've always felt, that with everything I've done, I've enjoyed. And whilst I'm enjoying it, then everything else comes as a bonus. Even in business, the money and everything, that's not it. Hard work is hard work. But if you're enjoying what you're doing, so it's the passion that motivates me. It's achieving results. At the moment with MSD UK, I love being around entrepreneurs. I love the buzz of sales. I like the energy and I love closing deals. I've always loved closing deals, and I'm around people helping them close deals. That's the bit that motivates me. That I'm overcoming barriers and I'm dispelling those stereotypes people have of ethnic minority businesses. Because whilst some of us are small businesses and we're all breaking through, actually there's some really big heavyweights that are run by ethnic minorities that people don't even know about. And there's some really inspirational role models that we want to showcase. We want to be able to highlight how awesome they are to other inspiring business leaders and the new generation of entrepreneurs as well as our children.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's awesome. Okay. So as at the position you are right now, what is the lasting impact you want to leave as a managing director, as you, as Reshma Sheikh, as you as a person? What is that impact? The lasting impact that is going to, even after you've left where you're working at right now, MSDUK, even after you've retired, what is something that you want people to look back to and be like, yeah, she did that. Understand? What's the impact you want to leave?
If I do my job right, then you won't need advocacy agencies like us trying to overcome and create more diversity within the supply chain. That the global procurement professionals won't look at minority businesses as high risk, or they will just automatically lose businesses like us. They won't think that it will, if I've done what I'm supposed to do, the impact I make, that those barriers that currently are still there, they will be overcome. I know it's a long way to go, and I know that there's a lot of businesses doing some amazing things. If I can make just a small difference in a few people's life, I feel I'll be content, and that will be my legacy. I want to share the information I learned. I know how hard and difficult it is, and how challenging it is, and I want everyone to be able to share from my experiences and plus from other entrepreneurs' experiences, and also understand that there's a lot of global corporates who do want to do business with us, and if we want to scale, we're missing a massive opportunity by thinking that by staying with the low-hanging fruit and businesses similar to us. The corporate world out there does want to. We just need to make sure we're in the right place and tapping into those opportunities. So I'm here. Our organization is here to be that bridge to that corporate world, to give you that exposure, give you programs to get you skilled up. We organize events. And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure everyone knows about this network, because together we're stronger.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So you want to the it's what I just got from what you said, like you want to be the impact you want to leave is something that you won't be needed anymore. That small business can just get straight to the big markets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. Okay, okay. So let's go into the business parts, the practical part as a business owner, as entrepreneurs. So, from a consultant's perspective, what are the key metrics to indicate a business? What are the key metrics indicating a business? Sorry. What are the key metrics? Sorry, that we need to look at for a long-term success. What are the key business metrics that we need to look at as a business? What are the metrics that we need to look at for long-term success? What are the metrics that we need to track for us to know that okay, we are doing well, we are growing, we are actually growing, we are actually reaching our goals? Yeah, that's the question.
I believe you need to get the processes in place. You got to get the governance in place. You need to understand cash flow is key. You need to make sure you understand your P&L and balance sheets. If you don't understand, you make sure you have a damn good team. You're only as good as the people around you. So get your foundations right, and then you can grow and scale. Also, bear in mind, working with a lot of global corporates, you need to understand your market, do your research. Your value proposition will change many times. I know that mine did. The more I engage with corporates and the global FTSE 100 companies, the more I understood that their needs were different. So I changed my language. I changed what I offered, because I provided solutions to their problems. I knew I needed 3-year good accounts. So I made sure that until then I wasn't going to be able to get business. So in that time, 3 years, I built up those accounts. I knew I needed accreditations. I knew I needed to be regulated. I know that certain process, it's long, it's tedious, but if you do it right from day one, the work just comes in. The work will come in. But get your foundations right. My advice to any startup or SME, make sure you've got your processes right and you've got your foundations correct. You've got good experts at hand. You got a damn good accountant and lawyer. Get those contracts in place.
Okay, okay. All right. So have a good process, have a good team, your accounts. That's very, very important. Okay, so what are the major issues small businesses, SMEs, and SMBs? What are the major issues that that they face? What are the major hurdles that you've experienced that small business owners, entrepreneurs, and everything that they face? Apart from trying to get to their dream, uh, the corporate businesses and everything. Like apart from just that, what are the major things that stops them from actually breaking through and all of this stuff here?
Okay, so cash flow and liquidity. That's key for any business, especially in the early stages. Make sure debt control is good, and make sure you stay on top of that. Having been a restructuring and an insolvency lawyer, I've seen the most amazing businesses struggle and fail because they didn't have the liquidity and cash flow. So always keep an eye on that, on what you're spending money on, but equally make sure you've got the right team. you're only as strong as your weakest link. I always say that.
That's true.
Um,
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's go into my 30 minutes is almost up. So let's go into business consultants as it is, right? So yeah. For a growing business consultancy industry, what's the most valuable technologies that they need to implement? You're a business consultants. I'm very sure you work with other business consultants also. What are the major technologies? Like, what do they need to implement into their business to make sure that they can scale, they can grow, and all of this stuff? Yeah.
it depends on what your business is, but good accounting software is a must anyway. So if you outsource it to a financial provider, they will have that software. Um, I keep an eye on everything. When you're starting up, you might not need to invest in so much technologies. It might make sense at that time to use spreadsheets. I'm old school. I'm not going to, say that you invest in the early stage of technology if you're not a technology business.
Yeah.
Um, there are efficient ways to do things, and you will go. Each business has different ways they can.
Okay.
You might not invest. There's free resources. A lot of CRM tools are free.
Mm-hmm.
That knowledge is invaluable for me. Every single prospect you go for, you make sure you make a note of them, who you've spoken to, but use all the free tools in the early stages. Try things out before you commit to them. That's my tips. In terms of technology, it is industry specific, but you do need to make sure that you constantly research the market, and that's where networks help. When you talk to others, they help you. They give you tips of what they've tried, so you don't have to make those mistakes. And I was very frugal. I never invested money until I knew it was going to work and I needed it. But there's different types of entrepreneurs. Some take massive risks and they do so well. Follow your gut. That's what I do. I always follow my gut. My gut's never been wrong. That's what I would say. You know it. You know what's right to do. And one size does not fit all.
Okay. Okay. I think I understand that. So use as much free tools as you can, and know your business. I guess that's one of the takeaways. Know your business for you to know what actually will help your business, the technology that will help your business. Yeah. Another business consultants question, and consultants generally. What's the key challenge that they face, and how can they adapt their approach to achieve optimal results for their clients? Consultants are working for other people. It's a B2B something. It's a B2B uh, business, right? So, what are the major challenges? What are the key challenges that they face? And how can they actually adapt their approach to gain optimal results for people that they work for? For example, as you are a business consultant, like what are the things that you do to make sure that you actually make sure that people that are under you, people that are following you, get the best result that you can get? That's the question.
As you said, know your product, know your unique selling points, be able to do your elevator pitch just like that, because you never know where opportunities are. As an entrepreneur, your head does not stop. You're always looking for opportunities, but you need to be focused. And that focus helps you having a plan. Being agile. That's why SMEs and entrepreneurs do well. They're so agile. They don't have the bureaucracy like big global corporates, so they don't have to delay things. And that's their superpower. That's what I say. But focus is very important. Having a plan is important. Having a grip on your numbers and your finances. And joining networks, learning from people, supporting each other. I was never in that position that had, I didn't go to that golf club. I was that girl from the estate. I got opportunities through MSDUK. MSDUK is a great platform for me and many other entrepreneurs. And it wasn't always about winning work. It's about joining the training programs we had. They were brilliant. And you get an opportunity to pitch feedback. And getting criticism is brilliant. Critical, constructive feedback, take it.
Take it and work on it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. One last question. So, as I'm in Nigeria, and is MSDUK open to other people outside the countries? Maybe something that I could join, something that I could be a part of. Follow up in a little bit. Is it something that is possible for someone like me, people like that are outside the country, that are outside UK generally?
So we certify ethnic minority businesses only in the UK. However, there are many other advocacy bodies just like us around the world. From in South Africa, there's an ethnic minority body called the SASDC. There's also in Canada, there's in the USA, Europe, literally China, India. There are numerous organizations. And also, it's whilst we specialize in ethnic minority businesses, there are also other advocacy bodies that focus on women-owned businesses and veteran-owned businesses where, owners that have got a disability, or they're from LGBTQ. So they're different. Whilst we all work in collaboration together, we understand that each of our advocacy groups have separate needs. So yeah, globally, there's lots of opportunities. And all you have to do is log onto our webpage. There's so much information. In the USA, is at NMSDC, they have lots of information. They are all specific to their country. So we certify non-white ethnic minority businesses that are 51% or more owned by a person of color, and you have to be there's a number of checks that are done. But once you're part of our membership, you get opportunities, you get support, you get programs, you get invited to events, and that's in Europe as well. There's a number of there's lots of bodies out there, and we all have our specific remits.
Okay, that's it's going to be very important for people out there that will be watching this video eventually. And I really appreciate you joining me on this call. Uh, Thank you very much. 2:29, we didn't go back, we didn't go past 2:30. So yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I